Hey guys, just so you know, it's pissing with rain here at the moment. Really shitty weather, pardon the French, but I just got back from a bike ride about half an hour ago and the weather was just terrible, to say the least. Anyway, today I'm going to bring you a different type of video. It's not the usual type of video that I would normally do. It's a comparison video between two of the world's most popular would be the correct word, I think, operating systems, which are Android and iOS. So just to clarify before we begin, I'm not going to be persuading you what platform you should choose, but instead I'm going to be providing you with a comparison between the two operating systems, so that way you can choose what one you think would be beneficial for you and for your type of thing that you do, whatever, at work or at home. I'm going to start here with Apple's operating system, which their latest, which was released in September 2015 this year, iOS 9. I think they're up to like iOS 9.0.2 at the moment, but you can probably hear it's pouring out there with rain, so I'm kind of glad I'm not out there, but Apple's recently released operating system designed for the iPhone, iPad and iPod Touch. It includes some long-awaited features and they're very overdue, like Android and that have had them for quite a while, and yeah, have been seen in rival phones and tablets over the past couple of years. I personally feel like Apple is just playing catch-up with Android and Windows with their features, giving their operating system a much needed boost in order to keep their customers happy. Some of the features included in this version of iOS are actually very useful for the work environment and productivity. For example, the new slide over and split view features will come in very handy to business people who need to get some real work done but feel they can't because their iPad isn't able to do everything their PC can do. Well, now it can. How about that? Now we'll go into the slide over, split view and picture-in-picture now. These features included for iPad users in iOS 9 have been long awaited and are actually quite exciting. I haven't had a chance to use them because when iOS 9 came out, I had the first generation iPad mini, which is quite old in technically speaking, but I recently upgraded to the Samsung Galaxy Tab A, the 8-inch one, and it's wonderful. So slide over is designed to let you quickly reply to a message when you're browsing the internet or watching a video. Then you can slide that app away and get back to the one that you were using before. It's just mainly like a quick thing that you do if you need to get into something quickly but don't want to open a whole other app type of thing. So it's quite useful. The more exciting split view allows you to use two apps side by side and interact with both of them at the same time, which is also really, really handy. So say if you're I don't know, let's just say if you're writing a document for some reason and you want to research on the internet, you can do them both at the same time. So yeah, picture-in-picture is really quite good if you want to watch a video and then do something else at the same time, because it allows you to put a video into the corner of your screen, just one corner. You can resize it too. And browse the internet or reply to an email without pausing the video and hopping right out of the video to go into the other app, which again is very useful for multitasking. Slide over and picture-in-picture are available on the iPad Air 2, the Air, the Mini 2, 3 and 4, and the iPad Pro, which will be released in November this year. While the more exciting and probably most wanted feature, split view, is only available on the iPad Air 2, the Pro, again going to be released in November, and the iPad Mini 4. So, sorry to other iPad users, but it looks like you will not be receiving these long-awaited features, which will be a shame, actually. So, but I don't know. I don't own an iPad anymore, so I don't care. To put it out there. With Apple only making these features available on the newer iPads, they are creating reasons for you to upgrade. So, say if you've got an older iPad Mini or even an iPad 2, Apple are making reasons for you to upgrade to a new iPad, like the iPad Air 2 or the iPad Pro when it's released. Now we're going to talk about proactive. Now, some people reckon it's a bit like Google Now on Android, but I think it might be a bit different. I've had a look at it. I've had quite a good look at it, actually, and I think it is quite a lot different than Google Now. Even though Google Now's probably better, but I think in the long run, proactive for iOS people would be better than Google Now. But we've all got our each different platforms, I suppose, and I prefer Google Now, and Apple fans, so to speak, might prefer proactive. But so they reckon that Siri gets a lot smarter in iOS 9. Now it can suggest apps that you open based on recent activity. So say if you open Twitter, YouTube, messages, it will come up on that, like it will, I think it will say like Siri app suggestions, and then it will come up based on what, like how many times you open it, so your recently used apps type of thing. It can even suggest music for you to listen to. So say if you go out for a run and you want to listen to a bit of music, all you've got to do, plug in your headphones, and then you can listen to music, like it will pop up some music for you to listen to. And it can even suggest where you would like where you want to go for dinner, maybe. Siri knows more about you so that it can suggest things that are helpful to your type of lifestyle. Not only, so they're mainly some of the big changes in iOS 9, but it also has some general performance enhancements. So, for example, you'll get more usage out of your device with longer battery life, which is really good. There is even a low power mode found in the iPhone settings menu, and things just run a lot smoother as a whole. Just as a side note too, power saving mode along with split view, or whatever they call it, has been in Samsung tablets and phones for a couple of years now. So yeah, it's not really a new technology, but yeah. Anyway, and Windows have had it for like forever. I don't know, Windows 7, Vista, I think actually, maybe, I don't know, but now going on to Android now, we'll discuss a bit about Android. I personally, again, feel like Apple is playing catch-up with Android and Windows, especially when they announced the new multitasking features on the iPad. This just made me think, haven't Samsung devices had these features for quite a while now? But Android focuses more on productivity and performance rather than on looks. Even though it might take a little getting used to for people coming from an iOS device, in the end, you will be glad that you made the switch, and trust me, you will. I was. Like anything, Android does have its disadvantages. For example, software updates. We'll use Android 6.0 Marshmallow as an example here. Aren't released to every device straight away, or sometimes ever, as with the case of the Samsung Galaxy S4 Android Lollipop upgrade, which I don't think we've got it yet here, but anyway, not to worry. Also, Android devices are sometimes more vulnerable to malicious attacks, unlike iOS. Now, getting back onto the advantages. Yes, there are quite a lot of advantages. Android is more customizable overall. Yes, I know you can change the wallpaper and put apps into folders like on iOS, but you can also change the icons using a custom icon pack and even go as far as to change the way the home screen looks with a launcher, which can't be done on iOS unless you jailbreak it, which is a very, very, very complicated process if you don't know how to do it, as is with rooting an Android device. But if you know how to do it, then it's probably quite simple, but I don't look into all that. So, Android also has a wider range of devices than Apple. Apple really only has 8 devices. The iPhone 6S and the 6S Plus, the iPad Mini 2, 3, 4, the iPad Air and the Air 2 and the iPad Pro. This isn't really a lot compared to Android, which probably has over 100. Android devices go across several different brands. Samsung, HTC, Huawei, and now BlackBerry, I think, are making their own Android device. Now, there isn't any use in telling you what platform to pick, or some, or even most of you probably live in a particular ecosystem. For example, you might have all Apple devices like a Mac, iPhone, iPad, or a Windows, maybe a Surface and Windows Phone too, I don't know. Which in that case, there would be no point changing because you have already committed to a particular brand. Even though some or maybe most of you are stuck inside an ecosystem, I hope this video helps to explain the advantages and disadvantages of both operating systems and helps you to pick which one you are going to stick with if you are a new user looking for a platform to choose. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.